gallons per year. That's an increase of 723 million gallons within the next 25 years. Next page. The district's water supply comes from the Sacramento Valley groundwater basin, specifically the South Yuba subbasin. The Olivehurst system has 6 wells, 3 treatment plants. Plumas Lake, 3 wells, 2 treatment plants. The district's current filter capacity is 22,700 gallons per minute. By 2027, it's anticipated to increase to 27,380 gallons per minute. And the 2025 Urban Water Management Plan demonstrates that the district's water demands through 2050 will be met. Next page. This chart highlights that the district has successfully met the SBX 7-7 requirements. The bill required suppliers to meet per capita water use targets for 2015 and 2020. While no longer a requirement, the district's current gallons per capita has trended downward to 129 gallons per capita day. This is likely due to new homes, meters, and new pipeline replacements in older areas. So a more efficient system. Next page. So to help reduce unnecessary water use, the district implements conservation measures such as prevention ordinances, metering, conservation pricing, public education, and outreach. The district has programs in place to manage losses and conservation staffing. Next page. So the district's water shortage contingency plan is a separate document included in the appendix to the Urban Water Management Plan. It describes how the district will respond during water shortages. It uses the state's standard stages with 6 levels of reduction. Each stage identifies response actions, conservation measures, and operations. The most recent water shortage contingency plan was adopted by the board in 2022 and remains current with no changes. Next page. Public outreach and notices have been underway since March 6th. At this point, the district has completed all the required public outreach and notice requirements. The public review period will conclude with this meeting, and following adoption, the Urban Water Management Plan will be submitted to DWR. Next slide. So next steps are to adopt the resolution approving the 2025 Urban Water Management Plan and direct staff to submit the Urban Water Management Plan to DWR, the State Library, and Yuba County. And that summarizes the update for 2025.
Very good.
Okay. With that, we will open the public hearing. And confirmation of required notice by law.
Yes, we do have that.
Confirmation of written comments or protests.
None.
Any public comment?
None.
We will close the public hearing. And with that, 6.2, consider approval of the 2025 OPED Urban Water Management Plan and updated water shortage contingency plan. Any public comment?
I
None.
move to approve the 2025 Urban Water Management Plan and updated water shortage contingency plan. I'll second.
Director Flo,
Yes.
Director Nelson,
Yes.
Director Pearl,
Yes.
Director Burbank.
Yes.
Motion carries for approving, 1 absent.
6.3, consider approving OPED Resolution 2460, a resolution accepting and adopting the 2025 OPED Urban Water Management Plan and the updated water shortage contingency plan. Public comment. Questions from the directors? Entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve OPED resolution number 2460.
Do I have a second? I'll second.
Director Flo
Yeah.
stepped out. Director Nelson,
Yes.
Director Pearl.
Yes.
Director Burbank.
Yes.
How do I count this, Joan?
I don't know if that yes was him or if it was the phone.
You're muted.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Oh, sorry, hang on. Director Flo, do you approve this item?
I approve.
Never mind. Motion carries for approving.
There you
one
go.
absent.
To the chair, I've got an emergency phone call that I gotta go. Somebody is
You can
passing
take a
away.
5-minute break if you like.
No, he's leaving the meeting. He's leaving.
I'm gonna have to leave the meeting unfortunately.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Grab some-
Thank you, Director Flo.
John, are you
I
okay?
apologize. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Well, somebody's close to us is not doing well at all.
Okay.
Okay, praying for you.
Please note that Director Flo left the meeting at 7:12 PM.
Okay, did you call wrong? Yes, you. 6.4, receive an update on the audit for fiscal year 24-25.
Well, I cannot report a lot other than, our auditor is requesting more documents, in regards to our CFDs, CFD 2002-1, 2005-2, our plan, our park development fund. What is unfortunate is that although a legal contract we're obligated to follow may not be in accordance with GAAP, meaning General Accepted Accounting Principles and GASB. And so for accounting purposes and recording purposes, GASB overrules the GAAP. If you give a modified opinion, right, which we had to do, it might have some effects such as, you know, the district going out and getting financing because there's stricter rules just based on that. So, it is not done yet, but it's maybe something we have to consider, and he does not have to give the same opinion as his prior audit had. So he can go in there and, you know, there might have been a pronouncement change, but, that's what it's about.
Why would he move us from GAP to GASB?
What, GAAP is generally accepted accounting principles, and GASB are the pronouncement that fall under GAAP, they make GAAP for accounting purposes. However, we have legal contracts, reimbursement agreements, what the issue is, bond agreements, they are legally, you know, vetted, you know, we are obligated to follow them. However, GASB and GAAP cannot wrap around what we are doing, you know, the park fees, you know, reimbursing our, you know, the developers for parks, and the reporting at this particular time, you know, would have to follow under GAAP. And so this is what the problem is.
Is the auditor still not understanding the concept of how we do things?
Well, I think there is a lot of material there, and as I said, he is very new. What I can see in the past, he's the one that's basically preparing the proposals for the audit firm he works for. And I don't think he has very many, you know, clients and experience to draw from. And unfortunately, in the last couple of years, that's when everything really ballooned here. You know, we had Swansea on board, and the park development agreements that finally came to completion. And so there's a lot of money flowing out, which are those funds. And, you know, he's very hesitant to do anything. Other than asking for more documentation and whatever else it takes to close this up. So hopefully he's going to have it done. Otherwise, you know,
Has he at least given us a possible timeline
nope.
to completion?
No, I just this last week, Friday, he asked for the bond statements from the prior bonds, all the CFD formation statements and everything else, so. It was about 50 megabytes of data I had to send him over. I don't know how long it's going to take him, so. We get to that one, you know, basically it is about, we're using the agency funds and we are running capital improvements from it. What those agency funds were designed to capture. But you know, right now, I know they changed the pronouncement, they changed the treatment of agency funds, they were called something else. So it may be that, you know, the way they're supposed to be reported falls a little outside those guidelines. But however, you know, it's an issue. I think worst case scenario, probably if he cannot finish it, he can refund us some money back, and we may ask our new accounting firm, which we're going to select, to finish that audit.
Okay.
So,
With the chair, Joan has her hand raised.
Joan?
Thank you. I just wanted to note, every year, the auditor sends me a letter, you know, asking about outstanding litigation and other matters. It's a regular thing that my clients send. This year, I've not gotten one from this auditor. And so it seems as though this auditor is a little bit behind, or perhaps inexperienced, or I'm not quite sure what the explanation is, but I just wanted to note that it is unusual when compared to, the last 12 years that I've worked with OPED.
Now, you remember last year, getting a letter from you was a little difficult. Did you end up finally submitting that letter?
Yeah, we did. But we didn't even get a request for a letter this year.
Okay. Can change that.
At what point in time do we hold this, ask for a refund and do it to a new audit?
Well, as soon as we maybe get a new audit, approve, new audit engagement, and then maybe bring something like this to them, because one of the things that they ask for, can we have, audit, been telling, no, there's an issue, I basically, disclose what the issue is, so, that may be something, to be considered. I worked as a independent consultant for the city of Dixon, the same thing happened to them. They had a new audit firm and they had to basically finish 2 audits within same time, so, it's not unheard of, but, we'll find out, I guess, as it goes along, maybe we have something by next week.
Is this something that we should be thinking about doing before he gives us one that's saying there's issues?
Well, the
But
thing
that's
is, we
right.
don't, he tried it and I wasn't, I did not sign, we didn't sign a qualified, opinion, and that's what started that whole thing. The shortfall was, he didn't do anything in the months from October to February. That was all time we're waiting for the final documents from the county, and now at this particular time, he's starting his research that shows, probably last year he kind of walked into it and really didn't take a close look, so. Unfortunately, I hate to present it, but that's the way it is, and I'm giving it the best to get it wrapped up and keep us nice with an unqualified opinion.
Right. Okay, 6.5, consider approving Davis Farr LLT for audit services for fiscal years 25-26 through 27-28.
Okay, we put out an RFP and we had 4 responses. And the ratings, of course, are all a little different. And for services, you have more the approach that works for you. You take a look, of course, the price and the hours. So about 3 or 4 years back, an audit would take about 167 hours. So going up right now, up to today, with the way we have grown, one of the, components we looked at was the hours. We had one for 130 something, we had one for 240, and then we had one for 195 and one for 200. So that puts 195 and the 200 in the possible range, because all the information that was sent to them and they asked for basically puts it, in a realm. So out of the 2, the one with 195 hours had the lower amount. However, he did not offer remote audit, a virtual audit. The one with 200 hours was a little higher, offered the audit and had also addressed the federal or the single audit, which we may need depending on how the South County comes out, and it was included in the scope. So also, the second one, Davis Farr, had a good approach the way he described. Now, we're a small district and we have about 3 people, the most max in there, who is dealing with the audit stuff, the accounting stuff, journal entries, whatever else it is. Now, dual controls is going to be a problem here because we don't have that many people who do journal entries. I do one journal entry, the best I can do is have Dorothy approve it and verify it. So some auditors, they throw this, this template at you saying, you give all advice, your internal controls are bad, whatever else. This is the second auditor, Davis Farr, kind of offered an approach of taking a look at your agency rather than, putting this template on you. So we went through, we recommend that we take Davis Farr. It's all virtual, they're out of Irvine. But there is no, there was no request at this particular time that they have to be inside at any time. As I said, price wise, they're both audits were less than what we paid our auditor this year. And we're not even finished with him, so I have the prices, basically, there's a schedule in there where I have them all listed next to each other, they're all experience in special districts, water, wastewater, fire. Especially the ones that have city experience, because they have all parks, recreation. Usually when you get somebody for water, wastewater, they don't go into the fire. In the city side, you have someone for the cities that have the whole realm of everything else. So, we would recommend to have Davis Farr.
Okay, is there any questions? Do we have a motion?
I move to approve Davis Farr LLP for audit services for fiscal years 2025, 26, and 27, 28.
I will along with the optional 3 years.
Well,
Yes, along with the optional 3 years.
And I will second that.
Director Nelson,
Yes.
Director Pearl,
Yes.
Director Burbank,
Yes.
motion carries 3 approving, 2 absent.
Consider approving the adjustment to property tax allocation, administrative, engineering, and indirect costs associated with parks for fiscal year 26, 27.
okay, this takes us right into next year's budget, which Simone Jeep was kind enough to finish for Public Works and the Parks. However, the administration and the revenue allocations are driving basically the revenues coming in. So the first allocation I will be proposing is our property taxes. And we have the 73% to the fire department gets the bulk, and then, we have some going to Olivehurst Parks, some going to the Lightning, and Johnson Ditch. So looking at it in the past few years, as revenues have grown coming from the county, and we looked at a little bit about the pool, right? Now, those allocations are supposed to be supporting, the general fund department. So if you have a big surplus or even a surplus building up in one of the allocations, while the other one is dragging, there might be a time to take a look at it, and that's what we've done. So what I suggest is that sheet right here, that we take the property tax allocation, which is the first one on the exhibit I have done, and give the pool from 1.19%, increase it to 2.6. Parks, Olivehurst, leave it the same. Part about it is if the pool usually lacks any funding, right, we put it from Olivehurst Park, so you might as well leave it the way it is. Take the lighting down to 11% and the Johnson Ditch to 0.35%. And what the effect actually is, I've submitted, and it's based on the year 2024 actually tax collections. So we are going to have a little bit more for the next year as it goes. By reallocating it, it takes the pool revenues from, was it $11,000 what we had in the past, takes it up to 25, leaves enough in the Johnson Ditch to go ahead and pay for the maintenance of the county. And just a little bit, and the street lighting still pays, puts in there more than we had, so we can leave this little reserve. However, the bulk are shifted over to the parks. That's the first one. Now, in the past, we had about 11,000, 24, 25 here, 11,875 went to the pool. Had we reallocated it based on the new allocation, it'd come up to about 25,958. So I figure 2026, 27 with anticipated growth of the property taxes, we hope to get about $27,000, $28,000 just coming from this source. Okay. Question on the revenue side? Yeah, okay. All right, so take it to the next one. That's the only revenue allocation we have. And the next one is the cost allocation, namely the cost of the administration is allocated to other departments and other funds. It's based on an activity base. We did some time studies seeing how much staff is basically spending on each, on each department. And of course, the winners were the water and the wastewater, with most of the bulk, being run through there. Next one was fire. CSA Parks has somewhat grown, and Olivehurst Parks. So this time around, our park development 33, we left alone, other than the really truly direct charges we can find now. the indirect charges, we are spending a lot of time accounting that's just getting the fees in from the county, the data entry to put them in, and because they're 6,600, government 6,600 fees, I have to maintain the schedules with all the expenses and so on. So what we suggest that 1% for the park development administrative cost, that's 1% allocated from the admin side. And that water and wastewater, reduce it down to, actually, we don't believe it at 35%. Does this total?
You're pulling it from parks.
Oh, yeah, CSA Parks, yeah, here we go, CSA Parks, we've taken, the 3.5%, take it down to 3%. Just because CSA Parks and Park Development, they're really close together, so, and then, take Olivehurst Parks and reduce it down to 1%. So, I don't have go ahead.
Reduce it, okay.
Yeah, so we're reducing, fire stays the same, we're reducing Olivehurst Parks. Because Olivehurst Parks really does not have a lot of admin activity. If you look at it like this, we have, some of the costs, but there's just not a lot happening. Leave the water, wastewater the way it is, leave the CFDs alone, and then 1% to park development. So usually when you look at grants, federal or state grants, usually 2% admin allowance is acceptable, overall, so.
And that's for this park development. But when you're discussing the grants and things like that, it's usually 2%, you said?
Yeah, if you go for the grant and there's if you come in and they give you a certain amount, what you can go ahead and charge for the admin costs. You take it even back to the strike team, the strike team, the fire chief runs, they always pay us a 1% admin fee, which we get on top of it, so, usually it's no question asked, like the IRS, the minimus, whether they'll take a look and take it for granted, that's, within the possible realm, and they're big trouble. Okay,
Quick question. So when you're reducing these admin fees, and I see the next one, engineering, is that leaving a little bit more money in parks?
yeah,
Like, all
yeah,
first
we're
parks have a little bit more
reducing
money
the
too.
cost.
Everything's
Yeah.
just adding a little bit more
Yeah.
to, okay.
And again, the park development has the admin portion of those fees in there, that's where it's going to go out of, so, it's not like it, it actually takes the money out of the stuff you're using for reimbursing development for parks. However, it's justified. Okay, and the next one is the engineering allocation. Again, engineering allocation is allocated to, both the parks, water and wastewater. And I know our public works director here spends a lot of time dealing with the park development. So I'm suggesting here that we reduce the parks, Olivehurst Parks percentage from 0.88% to 0.5%, CSA Parks from 10.12 to 10, put 1.5% in the park development, and then take the water and wastewater down to 44% each.
Did we lose them? You're on mute, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It looks like we lost them.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now. Please try a little later.
Yeah, I think we lost them.
Yeah. Will you text Brianne? Cindy,
Yeah,
or no?
yeah. I'll take care of it.
Okay. Sometimes they don't always realize right away.
No, we do.
She knows.
Back on.
All right.
There we
There
go.
you are. Great. Karen, you were right in the middle
Of what?
of a
Super.
scintillating overview.
The cost share,
The cost share,
yes.
engineering.
Between Olivehurst Parks and CSA Parks.
Okay, in 2021, that's the last time we made an adjustment. It was set at 6% for Olivehurst Parks, CSA Parks 94%. Since then, I think our park acreage has increased the new parks by about 28%. So at this particular time, I suggest we're decreasing the Olivehurst park share by 1% to 5% and increasing the CSA park shares by 95% to 95% to reflect, that ratio a little better.
I don't know what in the world we would do without you.
I agree. But yes, and as she explains it, where I kind of understand it.
Sort of
so,
makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. And it does make sense. I mean, just the cost share because
Yeah.
all of her parks haven't grown. It's just.
Yeah, it's,
like-
yeah,
like
and
about
most of the
third
time we
round,
go
so-
to the CSA park, so those indirect cost allocations, they just need to reflect the growth of that. I mean, it's to come from something. Let me go ahead and take one step back again to the revenue allocation. And this is something that our general manager is going to take us in with an MOU from Health and Human Services. This year, we're not going to get any funding from First Five for the swim lessons. And I think we were under the assumption there are not a lot of, so we would have to charge the kids under 5 years. So we thought there weren't maybe that many in there. We just did some research on it, and about half were children under 5 years coming for swim lessons. So that's something we would like to take to the board before the pool opens up. And maybe that we have more money coming in on the revenue allocation, that we may want to go ahead and waive those fees too for the under 5.
Can we take that to the board?
Yeah, we have to take it to the
Yeah.
board, not the day, but the next time. It goes on the agenda.
And do we have another board meeting before,
For June.
for June, before the pool opens?
Our pool opens on the 6th. Next board meeting would be the 18th, but we will not start swim lessons until, I don't think until like the 22nd. So we can actually,
Got to do signups and stuff. It's.
Because like too close, right?
so,
Now, and we talked about this, this is something that we really should discuss in the committee, but we talked about this and that's a revenue source, so we're gonna have to, since we're not getting First Five. We didn't think we were going to get HHS, we're not getting Yuba-Water anymore, we're gonna have to start charging for this. Not necessarily very much,
No.
but we have to be able to cover it.
We do, and.
It's nice to get free swim lessons, but it's gotta come to an end, it's.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we can't run it for free and so.
Yeah, if you want the pool, keep going.
Exactly, so. Yeah, so we'll have a conversation on the subcommittees.
Okay.
can I get an approval on these?
I move to approve the adjustment to property tax allocation, administrative, engineering, and indirect cost share associated with parks for the years 26, 27.
I will second.
Okay, please call roll.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Pearl?
Yes.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Motion carries 3 approving, 2 absent.
Thank you. Thank you. Public Works, consider approving and accepting the proposals from Economic and Planning Systems for support in administering Community Facilities District CFDs 2002-1, 2005-2. Okay, sorry.
We do this every year, it's housekeeping, EPS does our work on that, they're hooked in with the county. So they know how to manage these accounts, so if you have the proposals, we recommend approval.
Same cost as last year, and they never meet the full budget usually on the, what I suggest them, so.
Okay, any questions? No. Have a motion? I can move to approve, consider approving the accepting proposal from Economic and Planning Systems.
I second.
Okay, please call roll.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Pearl?
Yes.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Motion carries 3 approving, 2 absent.
7.2, consider approving the irrigation DXI controller upgrade purchase for Rolling Hills, Veterans, Orchard Glen, and Pinkerton Parks.
These are controllers within the park system that Jesus uses. They allow for more manual, control instead of having to be on site. We've been doing this for parks as we budget each year's. We usually try to wait towards the end in case we have major catastrophic things that may happen to the park that we may need to pull from other stuff. This year we've been good and we'd like to work them all together. This is a source low pricing, so it's already been vetted through the government process, so that's why we're going straight for the approval from the board to go ahead and outright purchase.
You said manual, do you mean remote?
Well, yeah, okay.
So is this the one, so I know they did movies in the park last year and the sprinklers came on during the movie. Is this what gives Jesus the ability to
Correct.
turn that off if they're getting sprinkled?
Correct.
Not turn it on if it's been too loud.
Yeah, yeah, but whatever the case may be, so anyway, do you have any more questions?
No.
Do you have a motion?
I'll move to approve irrigation DXI controller upgrade purchase for Rolling Hills Veterans Orchard Glen and Big Pond Works.
I'll second. Okay, please call roll.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Crowe?
Yes.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Motion carries 3 approving, 2 absent.
Consider approving the pool grant MOU between Yuba County Health and Human Services and OPED for fiscal year 26-27.
So this is, again, this was a grant we didn't think we were going to get. HHS reached out to us and said, hey, by the way, we do have money this time. Would you like a grant? And said, yes, please. So, it's the same, virtually the same agreement as last year. Gone through legal counsel, so recommend approval so we can get started.
Not to be greedy. But do we think if we told them that we were gonna have to possibly charge for the younger ones, that they would dig a little deeper and, you know, help out with the 0 to 5s? Or do you think not?
I think not, yeah, this was the last. The last money that they had, and they looked for a good cause and found them, so.
Okay.
And also it's pretty late in the game for that right now. It's late because they have to change the contract and.
Yeah,
so on
well,
and so forth.
girls gotta ask
Yeah.
sometimes.
Never hurts to ask.
Through the chair, so this is, it says here for 6 to 17-year-olds free swim lessons. All right,
Which there's almost never. We get very, very, very few.
okay.
I can ask if they, because the county hasn't approved this contract yet, so I will pledge to ask if they could change that to, you know, from 6 to 17 to 0 to 17.
That'd be awesome.
Well.
But we're still gonna lose the money.
Yeah, hold on, I mean, if there's no more money coming to cover those 0 to 5, then that doesn't give us the opportunity to maybe charge for some swim lessons. So, yeah.
We're gonna miss out on that. We determined that could be, you know,
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
$8,000 to $10,000, so.
Through the chair, what about switching the H band? Instead of it being 6 to 17, what if we switch it down from 0 to 12? And then charge that higher age?
But we wouldn't make enough revenue off that higher age group.
Make more
to
revenue off of us.
Supplement.
From what I understand, there's been 1 or 2, since they've been giving us grants, there's been 1 or 2 people that have taken advantage of that. Swim lessons for older kids, which is, by that time, they either know how to swim or they don't.
Right.
So,
Fair enough.
All right,
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve the pool grant MOU between Yuba County Health and Human Services and OPED 26-27.
I'll second.
Okay, please call roll.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Crowe?
Yes.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Motion carries 3 approving, 2 absent.
7.4, authorize general manager to award bid in the amount of either $9,412,978.75 or $49,987,978.75 to Manzingo Construction Incorporated as the lowest responsible bidder, contingent on securing funding for contract 2.
no.
Can you repeat that again, please?
So, last week, this was on the last board meeting, and some of the directors wished to ask the contractor what we were getting for that extra $570 some odd thousand. We asked the contractor, and they said a whole lot of paperwork. Nothing.
Basically, yes, I sat in on that one, and they did say a lot of paperwork. And that they're basically doing what we were trying to accomplish anyway. But they did state that it would cause problems like with Teamsters, that Teamsters would come in and none of our local drivers would be getting the work. It would force us to use
Teamster people from out of the area to come in for the hauling, like gravel and dirt and stuff.
If we were to go
If we,
labor, if you did
Yeah.
the CWTA,
if we
which,
did it.
because I don't think, most of them around here are not Teamsters. So
Yeah.
you'd shoot yourself in the foot, basically.
Well, yeah, we were trying to keep it local labor and we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot by not being able to use our local trucking company, so. But I got the feeling that it was also, they didn't want to deal with it, so they put some giant price tag on it, so that you just say, no, we don't want it, and then they don't have to deal with it.
They are a union shop. I did talk with the one director that, was very active and she, expressed that, she wouldn't go with the higher price either at this point. So, for what it's worth.
Through the chair, Joan, you had your hand raised. Did you still wanna?
Yes, I just wanted to remind you that we are facing a significant shortfall for project 3. And so conserving monies where possible for projects 1 and 2 would be really financially prudent for the district.
Thank you. Any more questions? No motion.
I'll move to authorize general manager to award bid in the amount of either $49,412,970.
No, you told me, you
You gotta
choose the
pick
amount.
one.
Okay.
And please pick the lower one.
First one.
I move to authorize general manager to award the bid in the amount of $49,412,978.75 to Moazindo Construction as the lowest responsible bidder contingent on securing funding for contract 2.
I second,
Please call roll.
Director Nelson,
yes.
Director Pearl,
Yes.
Director Burbank.
Yes.
Motion carried, 3 approving, 2 absent for the $49,412,978.75.
That's a mouthful.
That's a lot.
7.5, consider approving the funding agreement MOU between
Eastham,
Yumika,
Waimika,
thank you, Mayadu, I know that one. Tribe of the Enterprise Rancheria of Mayadu Indians of California, OPED, and the city of Wheatland for a $10 million loan for the South County Infrastructure Project.
So this is what we talked about. Joan's got some comments on this, some recommendations that she'll go over real quick.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know if the tribe will consider taking thank you. I don't know if the tribe will consider taking the comments, but my guess is they probably will. This isn't like the county's MOU that was already approved by the county. This is, we can still negotiate this. Joan works well with the tribe's lawyer, John Mayer. So, depending on how extensive the modifications are, I think we might be okay there. We could at least ask.
Joan has her hand raised.
Yeah, Joan.
John?
Go through the rest.
Thank you. You all should have received, so we received this on Monday. I was able to get a report out to you today. You should have received something from Brianne this afternoon with my recommendations. And one of the main challenges is that we are looking at loans from a couple of different sources for this regional project. And each source would like to have their loan amount repaid first. And so it's important that we negotiate as between all of our loan sources who gets which monies when. And so that's one of the main objectives that I would put forward for negotiation to assure that no one is left no one is able to claim that we didn't timely reimburse them. The loan agreement, that's the most important aspect that I would like to negotiate. There are also some definitional gaps. Again, we're looking at dealing with different agencies for the same project, and so it would be important to have the agreements be internally consistent so that there's no expectation that's unfulfilled. So I would like it if you would give me authority to negotiate some minor revisions to this proposed agreement with counsel for Enterprise Rancheria and return to you for approval, or you can simply authorize the general manager to sign, subject to the recommended revisions of legal counsel.
In the interest of through the chair, interest of timing, I would prefer the latter, that you approve it, pending legal counsel.
Okay, do you have a motion?
Before, real quick, if I can ask a question, so on previous loans from Yuba-Water, there has been a clause that says, because these are being paid back with impact fees or other fees, that if for some reason the building didn't happen, we have another 2008 where a building stops, that the loan will either be forgiven or, you know, they will wait to be paid back until building starts again. Are we gonna have any kind of clause like that here? I imagine we won't, but do we have any kind of contingency or safety net?
As
Should-
drafted, the answer is no. So that's one of the things we would want to explore.
Yes,
The tribe is obviously differently situated from the county.
Right.
It's that we're talking about a private public partnership. With the tribe, we're talking about a public partnership with the county. So, but we do enjoy a great relationship with the tribe, but they're very interested in expanding their facility and they need capital to do that. At the same time, as they expand their facility, they need our services to serve. So I'm optimistic, as the general manager mentioned, I'm optimistic that we'll be able to negotiate a reasonable accommodation to our concerns.
May I ask what the repayment source is? All cap fees, conveyance fees?
Yes.
Impact fees.
So
Impact fees.
through the chair, we did talk about this with the tribe. I'm a little surprised that it's not in there. It's something that not just OPUD talked about, but Wheatland, the county said, look, you have to understand this is being paid back by impact fees. And it could also be credits too, Karen. I don't know if they put that in there, Joan, that.
No, they did not.
Okay, that was something that they said that they may put in as an option as credit for impact fees. Or sorry, conveyance fees, conveyance capacity fees.
Right.
So either one of those, or both of those should be in there. That's definitely something we can negotiate, but they were definitely aware that, you know, we don't have another funding source for this. That's it. So if they are taking some risk, they're betting on themselves. If they sell capacity out there, if they get growth like they're supposed to, you know, the Shields, Rodeo, RV Park, whomever, that's what they're betting on. They're betting on themselves to get those people through the door so that they can pay themselves back.
And that is really the reason that I don't believe that their monies should be repaid first. Their monies, the repayment of their monies really is somewhat dependent on when they undertake the planned development, because that's the revenue source for repayment. So I would like to better establish that nexus and reduce risk to the district.
Is it not possible to repay them back since they're both $10 million loans? Not pay them back evenly?
It depends on the pace of growth.
Okay. So do we pay back one first and then we start paying on, or do we start paying on them at the same time?
I believe that both the county and the tribe expect us to repay them first. That's why I said we need to have an inter-utility understanding.
So, Joan, with regards to the county's MOU, the agreement to agree, did they specify that in there? I don't recall them
They did
saying that
not.
they want.
We are separate, as you know, the county executive authorized us to separately draft the agreement. So the MOU is an agreement to agree. We are actually drafting the agreement itself. We've met with, you know, the city's engineer, and we met with John last week to talk major deal points. So I have a draft prepared. that we're going to share with our consultant and with the general manager. But it's important that there be consistency between the two so that neither one is expecting something to the detriment of the other.
Okay, good. The reason I asked is because, again, this was discussed by the county, and, you know, that we're all in these group meetings together. And the CAO, the county administrative officer, recognized that some of the private entities such as AKT and the tribe are going to want to be paid first. And he actually said that that would be something that we could put in the agreement. So
Okay,
I think they would be amenable to that.
okay.
So I don't think we're gonna have the problem.
So the
There
county
were-
is amenable to that, but we don't yet know
Yes.
what AKT's position is.
AKT's just getting credits though, aren't they?
Right now, AKT isn't even playing the game.
No.
We've got nothing from AKT so far, and I don't know if we're gonna get it. We're getting to a different agenda.
It's got something's being paid, something's.
Yeah, any more questions on this one? No. Do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve the funding agreement with council's recommendations between Eastern Mika Maidu Tribe of the Enterprise Rancheria of Maidu Indians, California, OPUD, and the city of Wheatland for $10 million loan for the South County Infrastructure Project.
I will second.
Please call roll.
Director Nelson,
Yes.
Director Crop,
Yes.
Director Burbank.
Yes.
Motion carries to approving to absent subject to legal counsel changes.
7.6, receive an update on the construction management portion of the Yuba County Infrastructure Project.
Yeah, so originally, prior to the penstock failure with agency situation, they had a construction manager on board. Due to their, issue that they had to back out of their agreement for the construction management that they were, as a third party providing for contracts 1 and 2. Based on the agreed amount that they had, we did our own engineering valuation between both agencies, us and Wheeling, and we believe that we'd be able to save a significant amount of money by having an RFP done, so we decided to do that. Yesterday, we received 6 of them. We're still going through the process of evaluating all the 6 proposals, and we will be conducting interviews the first week of June. Myself with the city of Wheatland, and we're bringing on a couple other, like asking a county to bring an official to be part of the interview process and the scoring sheet. But based on our initial submittals that we received, just looking based on price, we did receive very, very good pricing that was significantly cheaper than what the original amount was done by the Yuba-Sutter agency for who they had hired. So as we go through the process of that, we feel we have competent construction managers that will be able to provide the services for the first 2 contracts during construction.
Through the chair, interestingly, about 1/3 the original.
Wow. Are these companies, I remember the conversation you were having with Munzingo about who they worked with. Is this some of the people that they were interested in working with or had worked with?
Yes, there was a few that they mentioned that we requested if they were interested in proposal to provide proposal, then they did provide proposal.
Will someone from Ozingo be on the interviews or they?
No, we've just gone with the award. We want to keep it separate because they won't be part, they'll be
It's a
managing.
conflict of interest.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because these people will be inspecting.
Oh, so they're a third party type over.
Yes.
Here. Gotcha.
Okay, any further questions? And that was just an update, we don't need a motion. 7.7, receive update on South County infrastructure.
So right now, we're short by 15 million. That's what AKT was expected to pledge. As of yesterday, they were given a deadline of noon, and they were unsure if they were gonna be able to do it at all. Never heard back. I talked to the Wheatland city manager today, and he was on the way down there to visit with them. Director Griego was also involved. asked her, pestered her today to get her to make some calls. Absent that, our only other option is to go to the landowner that's, that sold the original land to the tribe, and then he's in the process of selling the additional land that they're buying, and then he owns the rest out there along with the amphitheater. He is he's a multi-billionaire back in Illinois. He's definitely got the capital, but he's not real fond of how California works as far as projects go. So.
Yeah, but this capital will make it easier if he wants to sell more of his land or.
It is, well, you know, and, you know, we're strategizing that, you know, we get the tribe involved too, which we are, to go back, either go back there with Director Grego or, you know, at least meet virtually somehow. And apply pressure, because, you know, that land isn't going to be worth much if they don't have water, so.
Yeah, and I believe Linda has a pretty good relationship with him.
She does.
So
She
hopefully
does.
she can convince him that it'd be worth more if it had infrastructure.
He knows that. You know, it's just a matter of, you know, making sure that him and his checkbook isn't dried up.
Yeah.
Okay, any more questions on that one? 7.8, receive an update on Plymouth Lake SCADA upgrade.
Yeah, we've been working on this due diligently and trying to get it all up to whether you call it code or to our needs in order for Virgil and his team to be able to, similar with Jesus with the DXI control, be able to remotely log in and be able to see things virtually from their home or be able to manipulate as necessary. A couple other things that we've had issues they're figuring out there, the internet has been kind of just disruptive, so we've been trying to figure out, has it been an internet connection issue or a programming issue? It may be a combination of both, but we will have our adept solutions going out there to confirm that it isn't an internet issue and it's the programming. We did hire in December a AIC, a SCADA provider, but based on their assessment last month, they believe it is a internet connection, some of the issues that need to be dealt with prior to them coming in and doing the programming. So we're hoping that we can resolve the programming versus the internet issue out there in order to move forward, like in that SCADA system upgraded.
Any questions? Okay, 7.9, consider approving the request for bid, RFP and bid specifications for Wheeler Ranch Water Treatment Plant filter pre-purchase project.
We're currently, as you're aware, we're doing some great upgrades to add more capacity and hook up our existing or most recent well that was drilled. And we're looking at also the improvements on the Wheeler Ranch system. We did this similar approach with Plymouth originally, where we realized if you just put on the filters with the full improvements, you just are getting wasting 30% extra just as a contractor. So we've decided to go back and just do the bids for the filter separate, where they bring them on site, and then the contractor comes and hooks it up and does all the other improvements. So this will be a step 1 of 2 process for the improvements that happen at the Wheeler treatment plant. Other improvements that will be coming in the future include, but not limited to, items for the methane issues that are there that will be resolved. Adding, again, these filters are purchased or to add increased capacity for the Olivehurst water system and getting all the other necessary, when that happens, like SCADA, they are upgraded as well. But for now, this is a step 1 of 2 process of getting the filters, which there will be 2 of them, prefabbed, ordered, and shipped to the site.
Through the chair, also, they're a very long lead time, so it's helps to have them done ahead of time, so the contractor's not sitting around waiting time.
Okay, any questions? Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the request for bid specifications for Wheeler Ranch Water Treatment Plant filter pre-purchase project.
I'll second.
Director Nelson,
Yes.
Director Peralta,
Yes.
Director Burbank.
Yes.
Motion carries 3 approving, 2 absent.
Yeah, you did it all, please, from my role. 7.10, consider approving the request for bid and bid specifications for open purchase of water service materials project.
So as of last December, we had installed for the steel main replacement, we had 2 phases of that. And we had split to bid, we had spent around 8.7 million of that grant money. And the grant funding disbursement or usage expires December 31st, 2026. We weren't expecting at the time that we would have leftover monies, but we decided to meet with the state and see if we could use existing remaining funds in order to make additional improvements throughout the district. And since no additional funding was being requested, and then the improvements would be a benefit to existing users and the water system as a whole, they allowed us to expend the remaining funds for improvements, and we've looked at other projects in historic Olivehurst that would benefit local communities and the system as one. We've identified additional locations where the county's gonna be coming in, or we can replace those water lines. So if anything were to happen, if there's a leak in the future, we wouldn't have to cut up the new road, which would be exponentially more expensive to repair. We're gonna go ahead and replace those lines. And even some sections of the water main, there's a portion at the end of 9th that is on a reduced size that would be upgraded to current standards. And I think it's about 156 additional services that would be brand new.
So basically, we had a grant that we didn't use all the funding for, and we said, hey, let's go do some projects that are continuing to help out the community as long as they're gonna allow us to spend the money, and that's what we're doing.
Correct.
Good.
Yeah, great job, figuring it out, how to keep the money in improve systems.
Yeah, and again, this is a material purchase, because we've discussed in-house, we would do the improvements in-house because it'd be too expensive to have a contractor. And well, we're able to get that done.
Perfect. Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve the request for bid RFP and the bid specifications for OPED purchase of water service materials project.
I'll second.
Okay, please call roll.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Crawl?
Yes.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Motion carries 3 approving, 2 absent.
8.1, consider approving the account clerk eligibility list and authorize the general manager to hire per OPED policies and procedures. Any questions?
No, through the chair, how many positions, Karen?
It's 1 position. Right now, we have 2 permanent ones. One of the gals is on disability. The board approved a 4th position. And one of the temps, we actually interviewed both of the temps. We established an eligibility list, and we would like to have her on board full time.
Okay, that was gonna be my question too. I saw 2 on the list, but we're only hiring.
Yeah, we're only hiring 1.
Okay.
Yes,
do
but
we
the
have a
list will
motion?
stay in place for a year.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The list is good for a year.
Oh, okay,
So if we wanna hire another one,
we won't hire the other one.
Sorry.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. I'll move to approve the account clerk 1 eligibility list and authorize the general manager to hire for OPED policies and procedures.
I'll second.
Director Nelson? Yes. Director Crawl?
Yes.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Motion carries 3 approving, 2 absent.
All right, committee schedules for June. Everybody gonna be there?
Yeah.
All listed
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
I guess it's just water that's not here, so we're good.
Real quick though, I will not be at the July board meeting.
Yes, I know.
Okay,
I'll probably tell you again at our committee meeting.
do, general manager report,
I don't have anything this time.
legal?
She's shaking her head
I
no.
have nothing new to report.
Okay, thank you, John. Directors?
Nothing to me.
Nothing from me tonight.
Nothing from me. Correspondence?
None.
Okay, we will go into closed session, conference with legal counsel, significant exposure to litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to government code section 54956.92, number of potential cases, 3 cases. Conference with legal, real property negotiations pursuant to government code section 94956.8, property 1970 9th Avenue, Olivehurst, in Yuba County, State of California. Agency negotiator, direct counsel, Joan Cox. Negotiating parties, Olivehurst Public Utility District and T-Mobile West LLC. Under negotiation, land and water tower lease agreement.
The recording has stopped.
Can I
May is a month for memorials here on Yuba-Sutter.LIVE. The 50th anniversary of the Yuba City High choir bus crash in Martinez begins this morning. Yuba-Sutter.LIVE is helping our community remember the young people whose earthly voices were forever stilled, and those who live to sing again.
Sing for the honor of his name, make his praise glorious.
At 11 a.m. on Thursday, May 21st, we'll be here near the memorial site in Martinez to live stream the day of tribute and reverence the city of Martinez is hosting nearby. Recognizing the 24 survivors, first responders, Shell refinery personnel, regional medical facilities, and staff who saved lives, the city leaders and Northeast Contra Costa community members who helped remember the choir over this half-century. The Miramonte High School Choir will offer a tribute in song, remembering the bus full of Yuba City singers who never reached Miramonte High School in Orinda to make what were expected to be joyful noises by both choirs. At 11 a.m. Saturday, May 23rd, the Yuba City High School Alumni Choir will sing to honor the 1976 singers during the annual Remembrance ceremony at the memorial near Yuba City Hall. You'll hear their names, see their pictures, and 50 years later, see survivors joining with other community members to remember their songmates. At 7 p.m., we'll replay the Martinez Memorial, followed by the Yuba City Memorial right around 8 o'clock. Monday, May 25th, as the country honors military personnel who gave their lives in service to the United States, Yuba-Sutter.LIVE will be live at Sutter Cemetery for the colorful yet somber 10 a.m. ceremony.
We think about the heritage of dedication and sacrifice that it displays.
Watch the replay at 7 p.m. Monday, Memorial Day. The Yuba City High Choir Bus Crash 50th Anniversary Memorials and Memorial Day at Sutter Cemetery. May is a month for memorials, and we're bringing them to you right here on Yuba-Sutter.LIVE.
Tuesday on Government Watch, you can support or sponsor. Help keep the community aware with Yuba-Sutter.LIVE.
Yuba-Sutter.LIVE. It's the truth that comes through.